Alright, so today I'm going to be surviving 600 days in hardcore Minecraft. We have done so much along the way, but I want to step it up so much more. In this video, I want to make an automated raid farm, defeat 3 withers plus the ender dragon again, construct a full diamond and emerald beacon, and finally decorate my base even further and work on improving a lot of my existing farms. It's quite a tall order, but I think we can get it done, so stick to the end of the video to find out. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, as it really helps the video out. And let's just jump into it. Alright, so the first thing I wanted to do was actually improve my iron golem grinder so that way I can get more iron. If you've been watching my one block series, then you would know that I actually found a design that is much better and produces more iron. So I immediately got to work on that. It's a really simple build. It's actually much smaller and works so much better, and I can't believe I didn't find this one first, but yeah. Hopefully it took me about a day to build, and then after that, all I had to do was move all the villagers and the zombie in there. So I decided to move the zombie first because I didn't want to risk the villagers' lives. So I made a nice little bridge, led the zombie over there. Everything was going so well until I tried to trap him and he fell and died. And yeah, I now need a new zombie and a new name tag, and I wasn't going to be able to get a name tag tonight, so I just decided to move all of the villagers in, get them all locked in and secure. I then spent the entire rest of the next day fishing to get a name tag, and then the next night, I got a zombie, lured them in, and then I just used my water column that I had to lure the zombie up rather than having a staircase, and then I built a bit of a better system, and I finally trapped them in, and used my name tag, which, oh, will you look at that name tag, zelkshop.com. What an interesting little name for the zombie. I wonder if you can get some absolutely amazing merch at zelkshop.com. You guys should probably check that out. But there you go, completely done and ready to go. Now all I have to do is destroy my old iron golem grinder, and I just used a ton of TNT to easily get rid of that. And as you can see in the background, my new iron golem grinder is working very, very well. And while I was working on all of that, this thing managed to produce over a stack of iron, which is so much better than my old one. Now I did want to make more farms in the future, so I realized I was probably going to need some name tags, so I wanted to upgrade my librarian villager so that way I can eventually buy name tags for them. So I got a bunch of paper, traded with them, got some books to trade with them, stuff like that, but I quickly ran out of sugarcane, so I decided what I should probably do is build an automatic sugarcane farm, because I always forget to break my sugarcane once it grows. So I found a design online that was super simple to build, and I immediately got to work on making that. It was overall pretty simple, and the way it works makes it super compact, which is really nice, so it stays out of the way. The way it works is this minecart collects all of the sugarcane that gets broke, drops it into these hoppers, and eventually into the chest. So all I have to do is wait for the sugarcane to grow up to one of these observers, and once the observer sees the sugarcane, it activates all of the pistons in the row and breaks all of the sugarcane automatically. So I was able to use a bunch of sugarcane to make books and paper and stuff to continue trading with this librarian until we got them to finally the max level. So as you can see, I could buy a name tag from them whenever I wanted to in the future. Once I got that done, I realized I actually forgot to collect all of the food from my automated farm here. So I opened the chest to see all of that food. Oh my gosh, this automated farm produces so much food. It also doesn't help that I forgot to collect this for like literally 10 days. But yeah, I needed an entire double chest just to fit all of this food in my base. So to get rid of some of it, I started trading with the farmers that I have. So I could trade the potatoes and carrots for some emeralds. I wanted to make more farming villagers so I could trade for more emeralds, so I decided to breed some of my villagers because I was going to be taking some of them away to turn them into farmers. And now I wanted to work on actually expanding my map. I wanted to expand it to the east because to the west is just water and that's super boring. And the way to expand it is super simple. You just collect this one map, I fly to that grid, fly just to the east of it, and make a new map. I then have to do that for all of the 7 rows. It's a little bit tedious, but overall super easy with the elytra. So once we got that done, this is what our world looks like. Honestly, I was surprised by how many rivers were here. I don't remember seeing that many rivers, so it's really interesting to actually put the entire world into perspective, but it's also really cool for you guys to kind of get an idea of what my world actually looks like and what I've been playing in for the last 500 days. By now, the baby villagers had finished growing, so I turned multiple of them into farmers as well as some fletchers, and I could trade more of my carrots and potatoes for more emeralds. Because like I said, later in this video, I want to make an emerald beacon, so I'm trying to get as many emeralds as I can right now to help speed along the process. While sorting my emeralds, I realized that I actually had almost enough iron blocks to make a brand new full iron beacon. So I went to the nether and I decided, you know what? We're gonna get another star so that way we can make a brand new beacon. Overall, getting wither skulls to spawn the wither is pretty simple. It doesn't take me nearly as long as it used to because I found out a pretty good path to take to optimize how many withers spawn. Basically, you just have to fly really far away so that way everyone at the base despawns, then fly back, and just do that over and over and over again until you see more withers. Overall, pretty simple with the elytra, though it definitely takes a lot of fireworks to get this done. In no time flat, I had all the wither skulls that I needed, and I decided to try and do the glitch where you suffocate the wither at the end portal. But yeah, I clearly messed that up somehow. I'm not certain how you're actually supposed to do it. Probably should have looked up a tutorial, but I just kind of sent it, and I completely failed. Not that it's really that big of a deal. Withers are extremely easy to kill. This guy barely did 2 hearts of damage to me in total, and there you go, got my nether star. I didn't have quite enough iron blocks to make this beacon, so I just temporarily used gold to fill it in. I could replace it with iron in the future, and I decided to build this beacon just a little outside of my base, so that way I could have a much larger coverage of speed while I'm just working around my base and doing general projects. Next, as I was exiting my house, I was looking forward and I realized that this space right in front of my base is looking quite boring and a little dull, so I wanted to put something there. So after doing a little bit of research, trying to find something to build, I finally got an idea. But first of all, we did have to remove this small little chunk from the world here as it was in my way because I wanted to build a ship out on the water. Next, I had to line this entire row here with netherrack. This made the water all fill in, and then once I was done and all the water was completely level, I could just break the netherrack. And now this entire area was all ready for me to build a nice giant ship. Now, as you guys know, I am a horrible builder, so this ship design is sadly not my own. I did have to copy something because if I tried to make my own ship unique, I would have failed completely and it would have been an embarrassment. But yeah, I found this really cool ship design and I was following it. And even though I was following a design, it still took me well over an hour to build this entire thing. But I think it was worth it in the end because this thing looks really, really awesome in the background. And it definitely makes this entire space in the back of my base look so much better. It looks really cool just walking out of my house and seeing this giant ship in the background. I absolutely love this. I do need to build a dock a bit later on, so that way I can actually access the ship a little bit easier, but that could wait for now. I didn't actually bother decorating much in this space. I did decorate the captain's quarters for some reason. I mean, I'm not actually going to use this ship for anything, so it doesn't really need decorated. It's just gonna be sitting in the background of my world, so yeah, didn't need much decoration outside of the exterior work. And since now it took me well over an hour to build that ship, this is the absolute insane amount of iron that our iron golem grinder produced in that amount of time, which is, my goodness, insane. I have more iron than I even know what to do with. But now that I had that done, I actually wanted to work on constructing a full diamond beacon, and I came up with an idea. If I actually made a ton of TNT, then I would be able to find diamonds much like you find netherite in the nether. You just explode a bunch of stone away and there you go. I didn't quite have enough sand to make all of the TNT that I wanted, so really quick just went over to the desert, got me a ton of sand, and then made all of the TNT I could make. A little bit later, I did AFK for more gunpowder to get more TNT, but for now, this was gonna be good. So I flew around 2,000 blocks away, just that way I was sure I wouldn't run into any of my other strip mines, and I got to work here. And basically, I just did this with all of my TNT, and this directly led to me finding a ton of diamonds. Next, I found this underground ravine, and I decided to line this ravine with TNT to blow up the floor to find more diamonds. Came across this creeper, no big deal, right? Except I forgot that, oh my goodness, 1/2 a heart. I completely forgot that TNT fuses is shorter when they are lit by explosions. I was so scared in that moment. I literally thought over 500 days was about to come to an end because of one stupid creeper. it's safe to say I wasn't lighting any more ravines with TNT. And as you can see right here, basically this is what happens. The TNT just blows away the stone, uncovers a bunch of diamonds, and the TNT doesn't always directly lead to diamonds, but it always does lead me to at least one cave system where I can find more diamonds. And if you've ever wanted to see what it looks like lighting over 2 stacks of TNT in a strip mine, this is it. I don't know why I did all 2 stacks at once, but yeah, I thought it would look really, really cool. So yeah, these 2 stacks of TNT blowing out this entire row led me to finding around a half stack of diamonds, so not too much, but when we AFK'd a little while later for more gunpowder and sand, we were able to find diamonds so much faster. And this is literally all I did for several days. Took me around 13 days in total to get all of the diamonds I needed, even with all of my TNT used. And I may or may not have also used an X-ray glitch to help me find more diamonds under lava and help me to find more caves, but yeah. It actually kind of amazes me that this is my job, that I'm basically getting paid to listen to music and mine for diamonds. Honestly, my 13-year-old self would have been freaking out if I told myself that that's my job one day. But here we are, mining for diamonds. Until finally, after it was all said and done, this is what I came out with. All of these diamonds. I digged a few emeralds along the way as well, though not too many, but there you go, all the diamonds. And once I combined that with the diamonds that I already had, I realized that I was literally a singular block short. And I was literally 1 diamond short from making that 1 block that I needed. So I really quick just mined below my base and quickly went back up to get haste, and then just really quick mined all this stone out with the haste, because you can literally instantly break stone with haste 2 from a beacon, so that was really nice. I did have to steal the beacon from my iron beacon, but that's not really that big of a deal. I could just go back to the nether and kill the withers to get the new beacon in no time flat. And that's actually what I decided to do next. But first, I did decide to cover a lot of this area in the nether with half slabs and carpets, because that prevented mobs from spawning there, which meant it was more likely that I would get withers to spawn in this fortress area here. Now, all nether mobs could spawn here, so it wasn't always wither skeletons, but it did very greatly improve the chance that I would get wither skeletons. And as you can see right here, that is what I got. That is an insane amount of wither skeletons. Not every time I came around the corner was there that many wither skeletons, but often enough that it literally took me only less than a day to get all 3 skulls that I needed. Absolutely insane. Since how I was going to be killing another wither, I decided this was the perfect time to get some wither roses, which the way you do that is whenever a wither kills a mob, that mob will drop a wither rose. And the reason I wanted those roses is because they are used for some mob grinders that I will be making later in the future. So I broke open my cow pen and decided to use Pongo, my pet horse, to lure all of the cows away. The reason I'm using Pongo is because a horse moves backwards at the same speed that a mob walks forward when being led by hay, so perfect. And it gave me an excuse to use Pongo, because ever since I got my Elytra, I honestly haven't even used Pongo since like my 200-day video, so it's been a really long time, so it was really nice to actually get Pongo to work. I then bred all of these cows because baby cows also drop wither roses, so yeah, really needed to maximize my profits there. I didn't bother waiting for them to grow, so I just spawned the wither in and immediately flew away. That meant that the wither would target the nearest mob, which is all of the cows. The wither unfortunately let the cows out by breaking the fences, but it was no big deal. I eventually did get close enough to the point where the wither targeted me, and I just caught the cows in the crossfire while the wither was targeting me, and we did manage to get about a stack of wither roses from all of this. I then killed the wither, got the star, and I also had a ton of iron, so I decided to expand my iron beacon, so that way I could eventually put 3 more beacons on top of this thing if I ever wanted to, but that is a project for a later date. For now, I just put the 1 beacon on there and give myself speed 2. Next, I wanted to actually work on building my raid farm, and thanks to the mod that I'm using, Lightmatica, I could literally just save a schematic to make it a lot easier to build, and it tells me the exact amount of blocks that I need to build this entire thing. Basically, what I do is I just build this in a different single-player creative world. I then save the schematic and transport that over to my hardcore world. So this raid farm needed to be built over water, so I already know where a pillager outpost is, so I flew to that. I found the nearest body of water to that, and we got going. As you can see, with Lightmatica, it basically just just adds like a hologram of where blocks need to be placed. It makes it super nice for my time lapse of building because I'm not getting super confused about where blocks go and accidentally putting things in the wrong place. It just makes it a lot quicker and a lot nicer for our time lapse. So we spent about a day building this thing and it was pretty much done. The only thing I needed now was actually to get a villager down in here because that is what you needed to start the raid. And getting a villager up here isn't actually as hard as it sounds. You basically just have to build a railway system in the nether and use nether portals to transport a villager. Basically, you just look at the coordinates in the overworld and build a nether portal at the appropriate coordinates in the nether and you're good to go. It makes it so much easier. You can travel literally thousands of blocks in only a couple hundred blocks in the nether. And as you can see, this is the railway system that I built, so it's not really that hard. I already have a railway system built into my villager pen back at my house. Basically, I just have to get the villager in a minecart, shove them, they go all the way to my nether portal, put them through the nether portal, get them in the minecart on the other end, give them a shove, and we're literally there. It's that simple. However, when I went through the nether portal at the other end, I couldn't find my villagers, so I assumed they died because there's a zombie pigman here, so I figured maybe they killed them or the villager fell down the pit. I don't know, but when I was building a safe area to prevent the next villager from dying, as you can see, I found the villager. I forgot that I had the bed down there, and so yeah, the villager just immediately went to bed, and I didn't notice. So there you go, the raid farm is basically done now. I just need to add the water to force all of the mobs down that little hole, and we are all done. So I went to the pillager outpost, killed the raid captain to get the bad omen effect, flew back to my raid farm, and as you can see, the raid automatically started. And the way that this is built means that the only place these raiders can spawn is on this ice. And since they're all crammed together on the ice, they immediately slide off into the water and fall down. It was a super simple design that actually is unique to me. No one else has built a design exactly like this. I came up with this design by myself, used some inspiration from other things. It was super simple. I found that most other designs on the internet were a bit too complicated, so I wanted something simpler. So yeah, I designed this one myself. And from one raid, we were able to get 49 emeralds. So not a ton, but it was definitely going to save me a lot of time to get my emerald beacon. Also, in between raids, I would fly home, collect food from my automatic farm, and trade that food for more emeralds. Having Hero of the Village meant I was able to spend less food while trading, and I got more emeralds. So it was way more efficient. And this is basically what I did for the next several days. It took about 10 minutes for one raid, so I would do a raid, fly home, do some trading, go do another raid, fly home, do some trading, and I basically did that on repeat for all of these days. Also, eventually I realized if I killed multiple raid captains, I would actually get a more potent bad omen effect, which would have more waves to the raid. So I decided to get myself to the max bad omen level, which is bad omen 6, and I started that raid. I found that this actually produced less emeralds, ironically, because it spawned in more difficult raiders, which are types of raiders that don't actually drop emeralds. Through trial and error, I found out that the most effective raid for getting emeralds is bad omen level 2 to give you the most emeralds. So I just did all of that for these days until finally we got all of the emeralds we needed, and also a ridiculous amount of XP. So I grabbed all of those emerald blocks, went home, combined that with all the other emerald blocks that I already had, and we are ready to go. So I went ahead and just temporarily built this thing right next to my diamond beacon. I still do want to build actual housing storages for these beacons, like actual decoration builds, but I just wanted to temporarily get this thing built for now and out of the way. I did have to steal yet another beacon, so I needed to build another beacon, which means I needed 3 more wither skulls. And as you can see right here, all of these blazes spawned in my area, so this process that I have for getting wither skulls isn't perfect, but it still does save me a ridiculous amount of time. I wasn't quite as lucky with the wither skeletons this time around. It did take me about 2 days to get all of the skulls that I needed, but still pretty simple process. Went back to the end, didn't bother trying the actual bedrock glitch thing, just decided to drink a strength potion and take on the wither. Again, fighting the wither at this stage in the game is basically a joke. This wither did manage to do a little bit extra HP, but nothing serious. And there you go. We now have literally 7 beacons all around my base. Absolutely insane. So since I still had several days to spare, I decided what we were going to do is build some decoration builds to actually put our beacons in. After doing a little bit of research online for a decoration build, I went to gather all of the supplies that I needed, and for this one, I needed some mushrooms. So I got to work on building that. And again, this build is not unique to me. Proper credit will be in the description. I really liked it. I thought it was really cool. I did add some improvements to it, like with the chains and the lanterns and all of that. And I really love how this turned out. This looks really sick in the background. And now I just needed a design to house my diamond beacon. And I was thinking, diamonds make you rich. I'm an American. All Americans are rich, obviously. What else are all Americans? All Americans are fat. Why? Because we love cheeseburgers. So I built a cheeseburger and I put the diamond beacon inside of it. Why, you ask? I don't know, dude. As you can see, it's there's 2 patties in this burger, obviously, because all Americans, you know, we need that double cheeseburger. I built the lettuce out of glass so that way you could actually see through. And there you go. There's my giant burger. I put it on the island because why not? I call this Burger Island, aka America. So yeah, I'm absolutely McLovin' this thing. This is awesome. Probably the best thing I've ever built in my entire life. Heck with the giant, you know, mushroom, all of that. We don't need any of that. We got a giant burger on our island. Absolutely amazing. So I still had like 1 extra day left because the burger didn't take quite as long as I thought it would. So I decided to build a nice little celebratory thing out in the wild. And I built a giant 600 for 600 days, but I made the 6 look more like a G by accident. It's a go, basically, with 2 O's. Yeah, see, this is what happens when I try to build things without help from the internet. But after all of that, I still had plenty of time left before our 600th day. So I was trying to figure out what to do, and I was flying around, and I came up with the idea, why don't we just kill the enderdragon? I mean, seriously, we didn't have much time. It was literally almost nighttime, but we still had 10 minutes over the course of the entire night before our 600th day to kill the enderdragon. And I mean, killing the enderdragon at this stage in the game with an elytra and a power 5 bow is literally a joke. So I just really quick went to the end, used my elytra, and as you can see, it's the easiest thing in the world. You just fly around, use the bow, take out all of the towers. Once all the towers are gone, you just fly around and shoot the enderdragon while you're flying in with the elytra. If the enderdragon ever perches, you just slap it around with an axe, and there you go. She did get kind of mad at me, and she flung me up in the air, which could have been deadly, but thankfully, obviously, I have my elytra, so just flew around, continue shooting her with the bow until finally, there you go. The easiest boss fight in the world. I grabbed the XP for some reason. I mean, I'm already at XP level 72. It's not like I need more XP, but hey, why not? Free XP. And as you can see, it is still nighttime, and we literally didn't even take half the night to fight that enderdragon. That's how simple it was. But yeah, I can now sleep to bring us to our 600th day. So as is tradition, I brought my pet inside to stay with me on the final night. I slept and brought us to day 600. We have officially barely survived 600 days in hardcore Minecraft. It is absolutely outstanding how much we managed to accomplish in these 100 days. Getting a full diamond and emerald beacon, having these massive decoration builds like this ship, making a full raid farm. I mean, it's insane. I had so much fun with this video. This is probably one of my favorite ones in the series so far. So I hope you guys enjoyed it too. My base is looking super, super awesome. I loved it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.